He's a
And
legend for sure now.
he's about it too. Whatever that dude says, he's gonna back it up. He don't need nobody's help.
Steve Tossin was that way too, man.
Yeah, Steve Tossin was another bully though. I'm not saying he wasn't a good dude if you knew him, but you weren't gonna get to know him easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you definitely didn't want to call him Mr. 187,
Yeah.
fucking Steve or Mr. Steve. That dude was an animal, bud. That's another one. He didn't need nobody's help. Just a quick little story on that dude, bud. He went to Arizona when them dudes were prospecting because something happened down there. It was him and Robert Poland from Daly City, bud, and they went down there and they told him how it was, and Arizona wasn't really, a handful of dudes weren't really feeling it, and Steve told them, well, fucking line up if you got a problem with it, and they did, dude. They lined up. I don't know how many people, but it was more than one, and probably closer to a dozen,
Mm.
and he fucking whooped them all one on one right after another, bud, and then he looks over at Robert Poland from Daly City and he goes, what the fuck, why didn't you help? He goes, oh, you look like you had it under control. The dude didn't need no help, but he was a one-man army. Just when the Mongols, before the Mongols started in San Jose, there were rumors going around that they were gonna, and it was this car club that was gonna patch over. And he said, well, I'm gonna go over there and beat them all up. And they're like, no, don't do that. That's just gonna make them do it. You know what I mean? He goes, whatever. And he did anyways. He went over there and beat the whole fucking joint up by himself, took all their shit, all their patches, and rolled out. And then they all ended up becoming Mongols. And I think that's why he quit the first, to begin with, before he came back after 10 years or so. Yeah, he that's just how he was, Well, I'm gonna go fix it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people in the club, same thing with, they were scared of him or whatever, but he used to make the prospects, you fight, you fight, just for entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that from a few. I mean, everybody, it just depends on who you ask also, because yeah. I've heard issues of Rain Man, some of the things in South Carolina with Rain Man that were kind of.
Yeah. But Rain Man took his humble pie, dude.
Yeah.
And some people just don't do that. You know what I mean? He was, at one point, Rain Man said, dude, I'm not going if I got to fight another member. I'm tired of fighting members. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's part of being accepting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he believed in what he was fighting for, and that's what he was fighting for, his charter and the right to exist or whatever, after that shit happened in South Carolina, he was humbled, and I got nothing bad to say about that dude, but he was a good hearted dude. I honestly believe he was, in his head, he thought he was doing the right thing for his guys. You know what I mean? Being a leader. But, at some point he understood that it wasn't going to go his way for long if he kept that up, and he accepted what happened there. And then Oakland was calling for him, and he was like, I'm not coming if I got to fight more members. I'm done with the fighting the members, and that's why he's probably still around. He took that, it takes a man to accept that and say that, you know what I'm saying?
Somebody was telling me about a Mongol that showed up in Oakland. There was a restaurant or a bar right across the street from the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Went in there and ate. Balls on tight. There's hitters in every club.
Yeah.
And we know, Rain Man's a hitter. Like all the dudes who are gone down in this indictment are hitters for sure.
Oh, but for sure, yeah.
Some of them.
Well, it's like I was saying, when it gets in the public's eye, it could go all bad. But I'll tell you something. Cisco from Oakland was originally from LA, had family there and what have you. And after Laughlin, when Oakland being the charter that they are and having the hookups that they have, they had a bunch of information on the case for Laughlin that hadn't come out yet. And even though Mongols were the enemies or whatever you want to say about it or whatever it was, Cisco and a member from Frisco went down there by themselves and took that information to them, went right to their clubhouse, walked in there and said, hey, look, this is what it is. This is what we got to help you guys out in your shit. And I'm going to go to my mom's cemetery after this and pay my respects. And then we're out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that dude was, another legend gone too early. At the end of the day, our common enemy is the cops, not each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, I mean, and they're coming. They're coming in full force.
Oh, and like I said, they don't run out of money, bro. The they're gonna eat you up, bud. Believe me. There's nothing like having to fight a case from inside, because you just can't, unless you got some common knowledge of law and what have you, case law and whatnot. You know how to read case law or study the shit. Go to the library and pull the shit you need and write your motions and all that shit. You're fucked.
I've had lawyers where I didn't know I was taking a plea deal until I walked in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And the lawyer's like, "Hey, here's what I got for you," you know. And you're like, "All right, sign off on it, right?" And yeah, when you're in there, you might as well forget about it. You're not getting visits. I'm sure they're getting all kinds of attorney visits, and Rain Man has a pretty good lawyer. I'll say that.
Well, he was out for most of his. He was able to fight it from the outside. Most of these guys, not all of them. I don't think Ray ever got bail.
No, he didn't.
They never let him out. So that just tells you where he's headed right now. But they're not letting that dude out. They've been wanting him for a long time, bud, and they're gonna stretch and pull it whichever way they got to get him. It's hard rowing a boat uphill with no water, bro.
Yeah. Well, I know Rain Man, they did a benefit to raise money for his legal fund, right? And they held it on some land that they had always held their fundraisers on. But the land had been bought by some lady who was trying to open up a weed production, legal weed. And she called the cops on them and had it shut down. And then the newspapers are saying, "Oh, they raided the fundraiser for Rain Man." And no, just some absolute just came in and tried to get it all shut down.
Right.
But I mean, it's just been a hard road for them, when
that could have easily been somebody that the cops knew that had the money to do it.
100%. That's yeah, exactly. When they're shutting down your fundraiser,
it could have been like one of them deals where, hey, just start the process of buying this property and then back out right after this happens.
100%, or just go in there.
I'd be interested to know if that ever went through.
You got to think, did they even just go to her and say, "Hey, look, we see that you got this thing going in. What are you doing hosting Hell's Angels fundraisers?"
They do that all the time. Bars. If you're going to bars and wearing your patches, they'll go to that bar and they'll tell them, "Hey, listen, this is what's up. You're gonna lose everything if you keep letting them come in here. The next time we see them here wearing their patches, we're gonna come close your joint down. You're going to lose your liquor license. You'll never be able to get one again. And you'll have to sell this place and you're going to eat crow. There's nothing you can do about it." And they'll do it. They do it in Canada all the time. They do it in the U.S. all the time.
Yeah. 1,000,000% out here. Like I said, in Azusa, California, I worked at a bar and the Vagos would come in and sometimes the Mongols would come in. And you could just see the extra cars that are just sitting around, just watching. You're just like,
now, see, if you do that kind of shit, that's standover tactics, that's threats, and all, yeah, dude, just, you'll go to prison for life. They do it, and it's accepted.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's situation normal. Cops can just get away with whatever they want.
They do whatever they want. They don't lose their what do they call that? Their qualified immunity, bud.
Yeah, qualified immunity is fucking bullshit too. Just because you can lift 50 pounds over your head and do 14 push-ups. And like all of a sudden that gives you qualified immunity? No, it doesn't take much to become a cop.
It's a police state, bud. The cops don't even know the laws they enforce.
Yeah.
And they don't give a because sue me, go ahead. I'm good. I got my qualified immunity. You're never gonna and they'll stand before a judge with that. Why would I lie? Why would I come in here and lie about it? It is what it is.
And the jury's always gonna believe a cop.
The judge is always gonna side with them too. Unless you got some recorded proof, that they don't know about, and you drop it on them, like how they don't give you all of your discovery until you're already going to court, and they hit you with all that bullshit. And I gave them a copy. No, you didn't. I've been writing motions to get all the case, and this is the first time I've seen any of this. You have no time to prepare for trial, because they don't give up everything until the last, till they're made to.
They've been doing that a lot in this current trial, this indictment that's going on.
Is what they do,
I've heard many times they've had the jury leave the room and the prosecutor and the defense arguing, and the defense is like, "Listen, this is, once again, they're trying to bring back a witness, put him back on the stand, and they're giving us 12 hours to get it together on what we think they're going to be asking. You know, like you could have said a week ago that you're bringing this person back, and that's what they've been doing this whole trial. Is you don't even know who the witness is that's coming on
That's how they
stand.
do it. You know, they don't give you no time to prepare. You got to prepare on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, they'll make you waste all your money on bail, and then they'll drop all the charges, rearrest you, and you have to come up with the money again to bail.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then by that time you ain't got no money for your defense. You know what I'm saying? You got to start over twice.
But they did that to Rizzo and the fellas in Vegas. At first they charged 3.
If you're gonna go this route, just know to expect that and be prepared for it, because that's exactly what they're gonna do every time. You know what I mean? They're gonna drain your ass of all your resources, and then you're gonna be sitting there alone trying to get it together inside, fighting from your cell. And like I said, unless you're that dude Danny from SFV who knows how to do all his own court shit, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, they had the death penalty on the case for the first months of this one, just to keep them from getting bail and getting out.
Yep.
They knew they weren't going to, they knew this wasn't going to be a death penalty case.
Well, yeah, they got nothing. They got no body. They got no, all you got is hearsay, bud. And it used to be, you couldn't get convicted on hearsay, bud. That's just, anybody can spread a rumor, but I'll spread a rumor like a bitch's legs in my car, bud.
Right. And not only that, the dudes cooperating aren't just cooperating because they're good people. You know what I'm saying? Like they got caught doing some stupid shit. One of them got caught talking to a dude who was planning to blow up a PG&E substation.
And one of them got busted in a car with 2 or 3 other guys, and they had guns in the car. And the homeboy's like a 2-striker, bud.
Right. And now all of a sudden, that case actually, the state dropped most of it, took the habitual off. He took like a 4-year sentence on that after they had dropped a bunch of stuff. And now he's testified in these cases.
Yeah, he's like the number 1 witness, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And literally, he got caught for a crime and started singing, saying, "Hey, I need somebody to come here and talk."
Yeah, yeah.
You should not be able to convict people on testimony of co-conspirators or people that have sentences. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, just know what it is. It looks like a good time till it isn't.
Yeah.
Like I said before, united we stand, divided we fall. It ain't about, you know, Republican or Democrat or what club you're in or whatnot anymore, dude. It's all about survival, bud. Because if we don't get this shit together, nobody's going to be able to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's just all the way around the world we live in, the club you want to be in, what, you know, your extracurricular activities, all that kind of shit. You know, people don't even realize that it's almost gone. We're going to be fucked here pretty soon. Well,
me and you, we talk a lot about that too. Yeah. How the world, like even the weather, we're just like, hey, it's
the weather's going shit, everything, bud. I mean, here we got tornadoes coming around here. You know, we ain't had that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The world's doing some funny shit, bud, and so are the people in it.
It snowed in San Diego, a full-on blizzard.
Yeah. Again, you know, when I some years ago when I was in the club, bud, this is the first time I ever seen snow on palm trees, bud. It was all the way down past San Bernardino. It snowed.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? This is wild shit.
Well, we're hanging on.
You know, we're hanging on. We're trying.
We're hanging on.
You know, but shit, dude. At some point, people got to wake up, bud, and see what's really going on.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who's number 1 if you ain't got nothing to live for anymore. You know, you're gonna lose everything. Then what the fuck? It ain't even gonna matter.
Well, and then the way the political landscape in America is going, you're gonna need guys like club members when it comes down to it.
It would be wiser for everybody to come together than to keep pushing this narrative of we're better than everybody else. Because really, I mean, if I had any choice, I wouldn't have joined any of the big clubs anymore. I would have kept with one of these small clubs that have been keeping it real for their whole existence still.
Well, what's the club
when
with
you got 2 different clubs in the Midwest that have shared a clubhouse their entire since they were, and they share the same clubhouse and still coexist to this day? That's saying something right there, bud.
Yeah, and you prospect in and you
At some point when you're a prospect, you got to choose which side you're going to, but you're still a brother forever. Like they don't
Yes.
see they wear two different patches, but they see themselves as brother clubs. You know what I mean?
In
And
the
that's
same
fucking
club.
wild as heck, dude. And I spent some time over there, bud. And the Midwest is different all the way around. It's 10 years behind, but they seem to be doing just fine. And I wouldn't want to change it any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Millstar, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about right there. They share the clubhouse, and when it comes time to you for you to become a member, you pick which patch you want to wear, and you're still embraced by both
Both
patches
sides. Yeah.
because they're brothers.
Yeah. Wild, bud. But I tell you what, I had nothing but a great time there. I felt the love and something else, bud. Something to say. And I wouldn't try to change it in any way. It's cool to watch, it's cool to visit, and it's cool to see how they what you can see on the outside from them, because they're smart and they keep all their shit inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
smaller clubs really got, there's a lot of them too, that I really got respect for. You know what I mean? The Sundowners, Bacchus over in Canada, the Red Devils in Canada were the oldest club in Canada, dude. There's a lot of them here in the States too, you know?
What was the one we were talking about? Was it the Hell's Henchmen?
I think I don't know if they're around anymore, but there's the Devil's Disciples here. There's there's so many old clubs. The Five of Diamonds over there in Fresno. They're not huge clubs. They're the brother Speed in Idaho. The Gypsy Jokers in Oregon and Washington. They had their run-ins over here, but I mean, they're old school and they keep their shit tight till that shit happened with they're in Oregon, but still, even then.
That's a whole different thing. And I was watching on Black Dragon before I even went live. Shout out to
Mhm.
Black Dragon.
Yeah, that dude's he's got his shit together. I like that dude too. There's some black clubs out there too, dude. I got nothing but respect for. Love those guys, bud.
Yeah, he's one of the few that I enjoy. A lot of them, a lot of the MC. I didn't come on trying to be an MC channel. Like I just
Yeah.
have the right connections for it, and it's just kind of how it's evolved.
Yeah.
But I watch some of these MC channels, and I just can't even watch them anymore.
Yeah. Black Dragon's
because
a good one, dude. I like that
Black
guy.
Dragon's dope, and he was
Yeah.
talking about the Gypsy Joker
Case.
indictment.
Yeah.
And basically, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, you have a member go and tie your wife up and rob your house? Like,
Yeah, Bagger Bob, dude. Bagger Bob fucked up.
yeah,
And the Gypsy Jokers have always they didn't never. I mean, those dudes kept it tight for years, and that's the first outburst I've seen from that club. And I mean, I've met some of them, dude, and they had their beefs here. They moved out of California, and we had an understanding, and I don't know.
GT Gibbs right here says, first time I've heard our name, respect. So
Fuck
he
yeah,
must,
dude. That's awesome.
yes.
You got to respect the clubs like that, dude. These, like I was saying, a lot of these older clubs like this, dude, I got nothing but love for. But dude, and another one too that what's his name was talking about when you interviewed him. The Outsiders over there, bud. That's another one, Nothing
That's
but respect,
probably
dude.
the best way to go, because if everybody knows everybody and everybody embraces everybody as a brother, then
Mhm.
it's not this guy is his ego's out there, or you know what I'm saying, charters fighting because two big egos just can't coexist, and it
Oh,
just gets
dude, I
too
used to
big.
go visit all those little clubs when I was out and about, dude. And the Knights down in Bakersfield. I mean, dude, there's so many of those little clubs, and I'm not saying little. I'm just saying they don't have the world-renowned name like these big clubs do. But that don't mean that they ain't about their business, dude. Like the Gypsy Jokers are a perfect example of that shit right there. And there's a member from San Jose who started out as a Gypsy Joker and became a HA when all that shit happened back in the day. And at one time, I really think those dudes were going to come this way, but the older branches of them didn't want to prospect again. But they said all the youngsters will, but we're not gonna. We're going one for one. And that was, I think we kind of missed out on that ball game right there. But I'm kind of glad that they didn't do it, because they're keeping their originality, and except for Colorado, when Brothers Fast came our way and patched over, they had 13 guys and all 13 made it. And for the longest time, it was them 13 dudes. And when the Fates Assembly or the Fates Disciples or whatever they were called on the East Coast went our way, I don't think there's any of them left. We just took their area, and the same with the Pagans from Philadelphia that came our way. They all got ran off, after that after Wood died or whatever, all the rest of them just, kind of folded up after that. Here you lost all that club's history. You really got to think about the decision you're making. Are you guys going to hold fast, stick together, and really keep it tight? Because they'll try to loosen you up and get you to put your guard down, and then they'll start picking you off one at a time, dude. And then, pretty soon, there's nobody left from that original club. Even the Dirty Dozen, dude. That whole state came our way. You know how many original Dirty Dozens are left? I don't think there's fucking one left. I think Gypsy crazy. Was the last one. I don't even think he's around anymore.
That's insane. See, in Nevada, we have the Hessians, the Tribe.
Hessians is another an old school club. They're in California too, but them dudes been around for a long time, and They're solid. The ones I met, anyways. They're another one where it's just that all them older guys in that club are just, they're disappearing, getting old and dying off, and there's no youngsters coming around.
Yeah, well, with the real big clubs, there's a lot of warring going on between the coasts too. You got East Coast, West Coast, having issue with each other.
Well, that's been going on. That's been going on ever since they trick bag you. If you go back there, you're from the West Coast, you go back there, and you of course you got your guys that you see that come back and forth all the time, but there's people that don't, you know what I mean, and they're going to try to trick bag you and try to put you in a trick bag, and then that becomes a part of learning your culture of the club you're joining too. You want to know what you're getting yourself into. You want to know the history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Dirty Dozen did. They patched over when Arizona had taken the patches from the
95, I think, or 96. I want to say they came this way when Sonny got out of prison because he didn't want to move from there. He stayed there.
I mean, I lived close to Cave Creek, and I've been down to Cave Creek a lot. I lived in Phoenix for like 5 years, and it's beautiful down in there, but that was his own little cut of land down in there.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was wild, dude. When them Tijuana dudes that tried to come in as an undercover club, Hoover ran a few of them off. He bullwhipped them right in front of because he had a place right across the street from the Cave Creek clubhouse, dude, and he bullwhipped a couple of them dudes and ran them off. It was wild down there, bud. It was just wild.
Oh, see, we were talking about the Galloping Goose. They're the ones who have the club together.
Yeah, with the El Fosteros.
Yeah. And when you prospect,
I got mad respect for the Galloping Goose, dude. Galloping Goose is an old school club, bud, and they got a lot of history, and a lot of people they overlook that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to have respect for these people that have been in existence since the beginning. You know what I mean? They paved the way for the roads. The Hells Angels didn't do it all by themselves, bud. Granted, they had the money to fight most of these cases nowadays, but those roads were paved by these old. I mean, these clubs used to party together all the time. When we were a smaller club, you know what I'm saying? That there was a lot more of those charters of those Galloping Gooses in California and the Sundowners and all this shit. You know what I mean? These smaller clubs that have been in existence for a long time. The Gypsy Jokers used to be in California and they were here heavy, bud. Those guys ain't just poo butt clubs, dude. Those are real fucking men.
And it's sad. It's sad to see when it's almost like Walmart coming into a small town and taking the corner store, the market out.
Yeah. The super stores,
Mm-hmm.
The Iron Horsemen in the Midwest. That's another stand-up club right there, bud. Those guys they ain't punks, dude. You really got to know the culture. You know what I'm saying? You can't just turn your nose up because you think it don't work like that, bud. Respect is given, not taken.
I've never really thought about it in the way that you just put it, though. How it's just the history of that club just goes away. And they get sucked in, and then eventually whoever is in the patched in club is going to run afoul of somebody who's in a bad mood, and he's gone. And it just keeps happening until that club, nobody's left, and now their history is gone.
Yeah. I always was fascinated with just the whole MC culture, even like the Outlaws and the Mongols and the Pagans. I mean, you got to respect what they're doing, man, because they're still here.
Yeah.
You can't just think of it as. I'll give you an example. What an old brother told me one time when we were in the middle of some shit. He had a picture, and it was a bunch of Mongols at this roadside bar, and they're in front of it, and they're all in arms together, taking a photo. And he goes, "What do you see here?" And, I was young at the time. I'm like, I see the enemy. You know what I mean? He goes, "You know what I see?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Fucking brothers, bud."
Yeah.
And that really made me look at this whole thing in a whole nother light. But they were still a small club. That was before they grew, after Laughlin and shit. As before they really got to taking and moving all these different places and getting too big for themselves or what have you. We didn't have a lot of that anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know each other, but it wasn't. Those dudes were together. They were united, but they were small, but they were strong, and they stuck together real tight. And like I was saying before, divided you fall. And before they grew, a little bit too fast, I think, then they started getting too many informants in all these other places and kind of had a rough go of it. But
Now,
that's
another
not to
big,
say that they're to be looked down upon. In no way, shape, or form do I look down upon them. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect it. They got
yeah,
real killers too, bro.
it's crazy because eventually you start a club. Say you start a club, you're
Hmm.
going to get pressed by one of the big clubs.
Most
So it's
definitely.
like,
That if you're gonna, if it like I, that's what goes along with learning about this whole culture and the whole lifestyle. You better learn it before you can try to fall into it or be in it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's protocol that the regular people don't understand. Whoever's the big club in your area, you really need to be in touch with them and try to do shit. Try to go the right way first. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Everybody's got a right to exist. Now, do you want to exist in turmoil, or do you want to exist in these guys have paved the way for years and years and years. They're not going to take to just some poo butts starting up and just saying, "Well, we're doing it our way."
yeah,
That ain't the way this culture works. You got to serve the table before you can eat at it.
big thing right there too.
Yeah,
Huge.
you can't just expect to just be able to start your shit and do whatever you want to do. That ain't how it works. You gotta pay up. Not as in money, but as in respect. It's just the way it is, and that's the right way to go. People don't see that, or it ain't an extortion thing. These guys are fighting the good fight. They're the ones that are getting these big cases that are helping you guys exist, because we're fighting those cases with big money lawyers and shit like that. People don't really see it that way. I got a right. Yeah, you got a right to exist, and I ain't saying you can't, but you gotta pay it forward, bro.
Usually, when a club gets absorbed by one of the big clubs, it's
Yeah,
because they're trying to open up a new state, right?
yeah, they see all the glamour and the flashing lights. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, they don't know that those flashing lights turn into red and blue ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that ain't something that's hidden. You're told this is going to ruin your whole life, and everything that you got going in life is you're probably going to lose it more than once. Because believe me, I have 10 years in that club ruined the next 30 years of my life. But I mean,
Mm,
that's how big of a hole it gets you into. Not
mm.
just saying that, just financially, and there's no 401k in being a gangster, bro.
That's a fact. And I've never met a club member that's ever been in 10 or more years that
Ten,
is
10 years
still
is a
with the
hard mark.
woman that,
Yeah, yeah.
that he started the club with.
Nah, you're gonna lose. You're most likely gonna lose everything, bud. More than once.
Kids,
My kids don't
house.
even talk. I got kids. They don't even talk to me. Their mother don't talk to me. None of that shit. And I don't blame them. The cops put them through hell, bud.
Yeah.
Even her mom. You know what I mean? They were trying to get her fired from her work, bud. It was just insane. All
Mm.
because they wanted that ass. They want to see you go to jail or do whatever they can to just the more problems they create for you, the harder it is for you to function.
Mm.
And they're gonna create some problems for you. Believe me, bud.
Huge problems,
Huge.
especially
I
if you're
mean, yeah, dude.
one of those targets.
Oh, bud, it's going down
I think we've gone almost 2 hours now,
above and beyond as usual.
above and beyond. Absolutely.
Well, it's good to see you as always, man, and respect to everybody that came to listen. And thank you all them haters that are gonna hate, because that just tells me you're doing something right, brother.
I don't think you're going to get much hate on this, brother.
Well, it is what it is. You know
It
what I
is,
mean? I
yeah.
don't care either way, as long as the more views, the better. Even the haters.
We'll have to get you back up here again and just shoot the shit, bro. I love
Anytime,
talking to you all
man.
the time.
Anytime. Especially if you want to talk about the smaller clubs, I love that shit, man. The whole MC culture is awesome, awesome deal, dude. But just know what you're biting off.
I
Uh,
think I think I'm going to study up on a few. I'm going to call you and
yeah.
and I'll so that my knowledge is up on a few of them, and then we'll get on here and we'll start talking about some of the smaller clubs that are.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's some worthy clubs
Everybody,
out there.
thanks to everybody that came and watched, man. That's awesome. Respect.
Yes.
Hey, respect to you too, Michael Gallagher. Fuck yeah. All you guys, man. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. Like,
the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
All right. Well, thank everybody for coming to Vegas Profile Stories. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.